Hi guys, I hope you're all doing fantastically today. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Louis Vuitton. So I'm going to be showing you these two items that I've had for some time, but we're also going to have a conversation about price increases in general. So I noticed that, looking online and on YouTube and other people online, they've been talking about a price increase with LV. And I just wanted to give kind of my general view on what I think about price increases and how to best manage those through when you're trying to build a luxury collection. So thank you so much guys for taking the time to be with me today. If you're a first time watcher, thank you for watching. If you're coming back, welcome back. We're happy to have you here. I'm happy to have you here. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It makes such a huge difference to me, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day, evening, night to spend with me. Thank you. But before we get started, a quick disclaimer here. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Whatever you choose to spend your hard-earned money on is completely up to you. Luxury or not. Okay, so let's get started with these two items. I'm just going to move this one out of the way just for a moment. So what we've got here, so this is known as the Toiletry 25 from Louis Vuitton. It's actually a cosmetic case, so it's used to store your makeup and brushes. That's the traditional use for it. It's meant to be great for travel as well. I went to go and look for this on the website, and lo and behold, on the UK website it wasn't on there. So I'm not sure if it's been discontinued or it's just, been dropped off the website for a little while and it will come back. Never quite sure with LV when things disappear, if they're permanent or not. But if you do know, please feel free to share in the comments. But the reason it's called the Toiletry 25 is because here to here is 25 centimeters. And if I open up here, you can see here there's this, let me bring this really close so you guys can see it. There is this waxy kind of lining. I'm just going to turn it left and right so you can kind of see it reflecting in the light there. There is a zipped compartment right here. So let me grab the zipper there so you can see it has a little LV on it. Don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera, but if it doesn't, I will insert a picture in here. There we go. And it does have that single zipped pocket, so I'm just going to close it. I always have the zip pocket open to pop things in at convenience. And I'm just going to give this a good squeeze. There you go. Okay, so now you can really see inside. And that's one of the advantages of bags like this or cosmetic cases like this, is that with that lining, it's easy to wipe clean because it has that kind of waxy, plasticky coating. But also it's, I don't know, I got this a few years ago, and as you can see, it's super tactile, super soft, which makes it a great traveling bag because it fits all the makeup items in there with no issue. And actually, when you zip it closed, and let me just show you the zip detail here. There we go. You can see there. So when you zip it closed, you can actually, if you want to, this is something that I do, sometimes I'll just grab it and go and use it as, a bag to take, poolside or at the beach, or, if you're running off somewhere, you just want to carry one thing and just go. This makes a great option to do that. But do keep in mind it does have some width in there, and there is some vachetta here. As you can see, my vachetta hasn't coloured very much, and that's mostly because I keep it in a kind of darkened corner, so it doesn't get a huge amount of light most of the time, but it does stay out 24/7, 7 days a week, so I don't hide it away. Like, it's constantly on display and it has my makeup items in there. Not right now because I've emptied it to show it to you guys, but yeah, it's a piece that I've really enjoyed using. I do take this traveling, so if I'm going away for more than 1 or 2 days, this is the item I take because it'll hold all of my makeup items, jewelry, accessories, earrings, stuff like that. Let me grab something just to show you guys. So I have here a Tarte makeup brush. You can see it's a full-sized brush. It's not a mini or anything. And if I open the bag up, and drop it in, you can see there's tons of room to spare. Yeah, so you can see there's even some length here, so I can wobble the brush back and forth. There's plenty of space. And for size comparison, I do have an iPad here, an iPad Air, so you can see here for comparison on size, it's almost close to the same size. And just for the sake, it won't fit completely, but just to show you how spacious this is, if I pop it in, you can see how much extra of the iPad is left. So it is quite a roomy piece. This will fit in all your essentials, no problem. Okay, so let's put that to one side and talk about something that is currently on the UK Louis Vuitton website, the Nice BB. So I will put some information on here somewhere about the bag, the measurements, all that good stuff. So this also has vachetta here, but also on the handle. So what I've done just for myself is I've actually decorated it with this twilly from Hermes. So it just gives me a little touch that I enjoy. This again also stays out all the time and holds lots of items for myself. I do use this also for things such as makeup, but also just random little things like, you know, specific cable that I want to get quick access to, or, you know, spare AirPods, stuff like that. So let me open her up for you. Okay, so you can see here there is a wipe clean lining. Okay, it is a little bit dirty, so I apologize, but it is in use all the time. It has two slip pockets here. So there's one, and there's two. Then we have this back pocket here, and this says Louis Vuitton Paris, made in Italy. Let me bring that there. I think you guys can see it. There you go. Okay. And I didn't check the other one actually, so let me do that for you right now, the toiletry pouch. This is Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France. So let me, there you go. Okay. So as you can see, the linings here are different, right? This is a dark brown lining. This is a far lighter lining. And this does have a zip pocket at the top here. So I can just pop that closed, and you can see here again, it does have that lovely Louis Vuitton marking there. There we go. And it is a double zipped closure. Now this does require two hands to close completely, because you have to use one to hold the bag, or to hold the toiletry bag, and then the other to kind of pull the zip close. Now the zipper itself is actually very smooth, but it just takes a little bit of effort because it is double zipped, and this is a rather wide item. So I'll just show you here kind of how wide it is. And if I hold it and I put the toiletry pouch on top, okay, and I do this, you can kind of see the difference there in terms of length. This is slightly longer, and if I put it here side by side in terms of height, you can see the Nice BB is slightly higher. And if I turn it to the side, you can see the Nice BB has a lot more width here. And that's what makes the difference in how much can be stored here and how much can be stored here. It's this here, gives the Nice BB a lot more space. So if you're looking for comparison between the two, if you've got more stuff, this will work better. But to be honest with you, I would not take this bag with me traveling, simply because of the size. And also I'd be worried about, you know, messing up the handle and kind of, you know, smushing it the wrong way, or, you know, getting stains on it. So that's why I've got it covered up with this lovely light coloured twilly. But for this one, it really is a workhorse. I can just, you know, move it around. I'm not worried about it. I can smush it. I don't worry that it's going to get, you know, misshapen or ruined, because it's just a very straightforward item. Let me just put it back in shape. But this is not about this. This is about the BB for the minute. So the BB does come in a range of sizes. This is the largest size that they offer. There are two other Nice sizes. I think the smallest one is a nano. But I will put on the screen somewhere the different sizes here so you can see what's available. Okay. And this one here, in terms of what it can fit. Now, of course, it can fit everything the Toiletry 25 can, But for the sake of comparison, let's open her up and see about the iPad Air. So there you go. Would it close? It would be a squeeze, but it would just about close. Let's have a look. So there you go, the zip is going around, but I wouldn't want to misshape this bag, but yes. If I was wanting to stretch this out, I could get this to fit. So that kind of goes to show you the depth, because with the Toiletry 25, of course, when I did the same thing, you can see it was all sticking out at the top. Yeah. And not just that, this also has a lot more room. Okay, so let me close these up, and I can this fit inside this? Something I've never done, but let's see. I mean, if I want to misshape the Toiletry 25, it will for sure fit inside. So I could stack it if I needed to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna close them up. And you can see now this is a bit more fiddly, but it is a gorgeous piece. Okay, and when you look at the vachetta on this one compared to this one, you can see the vachetta on the Nice is definitely a little bit darker. There we go. You can see the colour comparison there. It's not a huge amount of difference, but it's enough just to about notice. Okay, so let me put you guys there. There we are. Lovely. Okay, so now let's talk about price increases. So I bought both of these some time ago, some years ago. I want to say maybe 3 years, something like that. Maybe a little bit more, to be honest. But nonetheless, so this one I couldn't currently find on the UK website. This one is on there, and as you saw earlier on, I think it was around the £900 mark. Let me just grab my iPad and have a quick look at the current price, because of course you never remember these things off the top of mind. Let's have a look, see. Yes, £915 is the current price of the Nice BB. Now, of course, I didn't pay this price, but I thought it was a good example to talk about price increases in general, right? Because LV's has supposedly had a price increase, allegedly. Lots of items allegedly were impacted in various different countries. Now, for myself, when I think of price increases and building a collection, it can be really off-putting when you see these price increases. And often you see a lot of videos online from content creators complaining about the price increases and saying, you know, it's not worth it, I wouldn't buy it, da 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 da. Now, when people say that, often they already have the item, right? So it's very easy for me to say, for example, for the Nice BB, oh, you know what? I wouldn't pay today's price for it. Full well knowing I already have the item, right? So it's easy for me to say I wouldn't pay for it because I've got it. However, there are items that I don't have that I would not pay for. So in a previous video, and I'll link to it somewhere on the screen, I actually spoke about the only Chanel leather item I have. And it's not a bag. It's a smaller kind of card holder with a chain. It's known as a clutch, but you know, it couldn't hold my phone, for example, or anything like that. But I said there, you know, I don't own any other items from Chanel, and, you know, I don't own a classic flap, and I would not today buy the flap at today's prices. I just wouldn't do it. For me, it's not worth the money. Now, I can say that knowing I don't have it, so I'm in the same position as anybody else who was just starting off the collection going, well, I don't have it and I really would desire it if I could, but the price is just not for me. Now, assuming you can afford these items, right, when these price increases happen, in essence, it's like you're wiping away the previous price. It's like it never existed. And when price increases happen, you've only got a few options as a consumer or as a customer. The first is to pay the price, pay the new price, purchase the item. The second is go online, see if other retailers do that brand, if they've still got the old price up, and maybe purchase it from another retailer, right, brand new. For example, there are department stores that sell brands such as YSL. And so, you know, if there's a price increase on the YSL website, maybe you can go to another department store and grab the same item at the previous price before they catch up. That can happen sometimes, potentially, allegedly. The third option is going down the pre-loved route. So looking at items that, you know, have been previously used, or what we would call back in the day secondhand, and purchase that instead of buying the brand new item, so that you can still get the enjoyment of the piece but without the price tag. However, that in itself has potential pros and cons because it's a used item. How do you know it's genuine? Do you even get a deal? Because sometimes, depending upon the item, secondhand or, you know, pre-loved is not actually cheaper than buying retail. Okay, now the next option is the last one, which people often say they do, but it's debatable, I think, sometimes if they actually do stick to that long term. But people are free to change their minds, right? Whatever you choose to spend your hard-earned money on is completely up to you. And what they do is they say, you know what, not going to buy it, just going to leave it alone. And to be honest, that's what I've done with the Chanel Classic Flat and any Chanel bag, really. I've just gone, you know what, I'm not going to purchase there. I have no interest to purchase there anymore. I like the items, they look lovely, but you know, for me, it's just not worth the financial investment of my money to go ahead and make that purchase for that item. And of course, every option is open to people, but the truth for me, this is just my opinion, but for me, once you have a price increase, you have to act as though, you know, if you know you can't get it at that price anywhere else, you know, the same item, you know, the YSL example I gave earlier, you know, sometimes other department stores have it. Once you've gotten to that place and you've gone, you know what, I can't get it at, you know, the previous price, brand new, to me, it's like that price never existed. Forget it. It's in the past now, and you can't go back and get it then. So the price is today what it is today, and you're either willing to spend that money and make the purchase, or you're not. And it's very frustrating for us customers and consumers who are very passionate about brands and are being priced out of them, not because we don't desire the item, but we simply can't or won't part with that amount of money in order to get it. And, you know, as a business, businesses are able to charge whatever they want for their goods, right? They can charge, you know, in terms of luxury especially, right? They can charge what they want because it's not an essential, it's a luxury. You know, this isn't food, this isn't water, this isn't, you know, this isn't an essential item for your life. This is not, you know, feeding me or clothing me. And, you know, it's not an essential, it's a luxury. And when it comes to luxury items and their price increases, you just have to kind of either be okay with paying the increase, or if you're not and you don't want it and you don't want to pay that price, then don't get the item. Let go and find something else that you'd enjoy instead. And if your heart is completely 100% set and goes, this is what I want, and you can afford it, then you may have to just suck it up and pay the new prices, which is really tough. And I know it's incredibly uncomfortable. And it feels unfair. But the truth is, even in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, when these things happen, you just have to let go and go, okay. Another example of that is Celine. So Celine has that classic box bag. I would love to get it in a medium in the black, but the current price, and I'll put it somewhere on here, and of course all prices are correct at the time of filming this. You know, please check locally with your own stockist what the current price is, but this is the current price that I had, and I actually saw this bag in person and actually tried it on, and I really liked the bag, but I wasn't willing to part with that amount of money to get it. And I think a lot of people are now starting to experience this, where they're having to make decisions of either I'm going to go for something else completely, let go of the brand, or I'm going to have to hold out and save for a prolonged period and see if I can maybe get this item in the future. But of course, with consistent and constant price increases, it's hard to know if you're going to be able to catch up in terms of saving to get the item. I think for me, I think I'm not going to be getting anything from Chanel. That's why I stopped consuming any content about them, because it's simply not a part of my life anymore. That's it. It's no longer, I'm no longer interested in that brand because I can't get anything that I want from there. For other brands and other items, you know, I'm glad I got this when I did. I mean, if this was to, you know, God forbid, if this was to, you know, somehow disappear or, you know, get destroyed or whatever, I would not replace it. Not because I don't love it, because I do. I use it every day, but I'm just not willing to part with that amount of money to replace it. So I would most likely end up getting a different brand or an alternative with the same kind of style, but maybe not from LV. However, for this item, I would probably replace it simply because I use it all the time. And it's something that I don't have to worry about, you know, destroying or getting damaged, because it's incredibly hardy. This one, although very hardy, is still a little bit more delicate because of the shape, because of the double zip, because of the vachetta handle. But yeah, let me know your opinions on what we've discussed here, because I think it's very personal to people how they choose to spend on luxury items, if at all, right? At the end of the day, this is not an essential item. Okay, this is not food. Okay, this is not medicine. But I think for many, they're, you know, who are discovering luxury or have been a part of luxury and are enjoying the experience, are kind of starting to get priced out, you know, and are getting pushed out of brands that they love and they're very passionate about into having to look elsewhere. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of videos from other content creators about other brands that aren't as well known and what they're looking for to kind of get the same feel or vibe, but from another brand that's still high quality and still a luxury. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.